Let's talk about dicks, baby. Let's talk about you and peen. You know, I never know how to start videos, and I just kind of let myself say the first thing that comes to my head, and that's probably a bad idea. But here we are. So I wanted to do some videos on testosterone, T, as it is called in the medical field, the abbreviated version of it. I wanted to separate it into two different videos. This first one is going to be about some of the things that no one tells you about T, and starting it and the side effects and all that, because obviously there's a lot of things you can look up online about like what to expect when you're expecting T in your body. But there are some things that I was not expecting that my doctor didn't tell me about, and you know, I would put it out there. I'd tweet about it or something, be like, hey, any other people on T experiencing this? And a bunch of people were like, oh yes, no one tells you that. It would have been helpful to know that ahead of time. And none of the side effects have been like groundbreakingly bad or anything. I do not regret going on T at all. Testosterone literally saved my life. I would not still be here without it, honestly. But that's topic for another time. And if you follow me on social media, you probably already knew that. But so this got dark. It's got dark too fast. Jesus. Happy. Let's talk about T. T is a magical little letter that has greatly improved my life. That's going to be the second video of this. I'm going to record that right after this. But I wanted to separate them into two different videos. So this one is going to be about what things that people don't tell you about starting it. I'm going to talk about some of the physical things first, and then I'm going to talk about some of the not physical, so emotional and everything else. So I'm going to be using some terminology that might make trans folk uncomfortable, but I'm going to be talking about like medical terms and stuff like that. So if that makes you feel icky and gross, I totally understand. Don't watch this video. You're good. Skip to the next one or whatever. So basically, when a trans person, it doesn't necessarily have to be a trans man. You know, some people are non-binary or whatever and go on T, and that is, you know, it's all good. So when an assigned female at birth person goes on T, y'all know that term? Have I used that before? Google it. If I say anything that is confusing to you, you can just like Google it and find out way more information than I could accurately tell you. Assigned female at birth just basically means like, you know, trans men or cis women, just people who at birth have the genitals that people in the doctor room or whatever were like, hey, this is a girl, but sometimes is wrong. Turns out, nope, whoopsie doodle. I made an oopsie, but it's fine. We're gonna fix it now. T stands for testosterone. HRT stands for hormone replacement therapy. So HRT refers to like the wider spectrum of things. T is specifically what I am on. So when an assigned female at birth person goes on T, basically the clitoris is trying so damn hard to turn into a penis, even though it's too far along in the what's it called? I'm too old. I'm old, and your body is it's trying to grow dick. It's trying to grow dick so bad because it's like, oh, it's time for puberty. Just putting all the hormones in there trying to fucking grow a fucking dick. But it's trying its best, but because it's not being developed in the womb, it's you know. So the clit turns into a dick, but it just does not appear as a cis penis does. You go online, search cis penis, and you'll find some pictures of that. And you'll know what I'm talking about. Cis penis, you know, you got the head. You got the hot dog. Okay, it's a hot dog. Do I have any visual aids? So this is a penis. You got the head. This is this part thingamabob. Then you got balls. This is just I'm murdering. Just murdering this. Go online, look up the actual parts of a penis if you want to know. I am just doing a very bad abridged version. I'm obsessed with dicks. You'd think I would know. I'm blanking on the word for it right now. Fuck it, let's do this together. We're going on a journey. We're going on an adventure. Parts of the penis.
According to NCI Visuals Online, National Cancer Institute, Anatomy of the Penis, the parts of
penis. Corpus spongiosum. I'm looking for a different word. Shaft. Why did I couldn't remember the word shaft. Okay, but yeah, this is the thing. Cis penises look like this. My dick is never going to look like that without surgery. And that is where metoidioplasty and phalloplasty come into play. You can Google those. They are different bottom surgeries that trans people can have. I've been thinking a lot about it recently because I'm at a point in my life where I can consider it. And I'm like, that would be real great. I would love a cis-looking penis very much. Not all trans people want a cis-looking penis, but that just personally for me, that sounds super. It would reduce a lot of dysphoria for me. I struggle during sex sometimes because you're just floating away, but that's another topic. Let's go to the next thing on the list. Oh my god, I didn't even finish talking about the first thing on the list. I got off topic. Okay, so I knew that the clit is trying to turn into a dick, and I was like, cool, that'll feel great and awesome probably. It'll reduce some dysphoria. I heard it gets like a little bigger, whatever. What I didn't know is that it actually acts like a dick. Like it acts like a cis penis. So when I get aroused, my dick gets hard. When I get aroused, my dick gets big. When I come, it twitches. Like, it acts like a dick. I couldn't orgasm until after transition. Before my penis grew, I couldn't orgasm. Then afterwards, my sex drive is a lot healthier, and I'm like, cool, this is great. And I jerk off to porn. I got aroused, and I looked down at these genitals that I have seen every day for my entire life, and my dick was fucking huge. Like, relatively, if you're comparing it to a cis penis, it's not big at all, but the size, it was big. He was a big boy, and I was not prepared for that. And I audibly looked down at my dick and went, because like, what the fuck? I didn't know it was going to get that big, but it was like very exciting. It was a very cool, I didn't know it gets big. I didn't know it gets hard when I'm aroused. And the longer that you're on T, the bigger it will get. So its resting position is, without me even being hard, it's sizable at this point. Basically, it could grow to about the size of a micropenis. So it's distinct. It's hiding behind the flaps, but once you like release it, you look at it and you're like, oh damn, that's wow. Right now it's December 11th. I've been on T since January 8th. So it's almost been a year. And I am erect almost at about an inch, which is fucking tight. I'm so psyched about that. But yeah, that's why most surgeons want you or like require you to be on T for at least a year before you consider bottom surgery, because they want you to get as big as possible before they work on you. So yeah, that's a cool thing that I was not aware of. But yeah, combining that with the other thing that I was talking about briefly before, something that they don't tell you about T is that you might be able to orgasm afterwards if you weren't able to before. My dysphoria was just so bad, and I like with the genitals that I had before, it was just so like gross, and I felt uncomfortable all the time. And part of that translated to me just not being able to orgasm because I was just like, I couldn't relate to this body at all. But then after transitioning, I think maybe a month or two since my dick started growing, I got a blowjob and I came, which is cool. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's not vulgar, right? I mean, we're talking about the health side of things. It's fine. You guys know I fuck. I talk about it. I just don't want to seem like a jerk, just being like, I get a blowjob. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm happy. I am excited that I was able to orgasm after not being able to for years and years and years. So fuck it. Let's own it. Let's talk about it. You might be able to orgasm too if you weren't able to before T, and I hope you do. I hope everyone has all the orgasms that they want. If they don't want orgasms, I hope you don't have orgasms. But if you want them, they're pretty tight. I've learned they're pretty great. So because you're on T and you're not getting E in your body, because T has become the more dominant thing in your body, but you still have a vagina, The best way I can describe it is that your vagina just gets sick because your body's just like, oh no, this is not supposed to be here. And it becomes basically menopausal, if that makes sense. So you're more prone to UTIs, which fucking sucks. You feel like you have to pee all the time, and it fucking sucks. But it's absolutely worth it if I can grow a penis, so whatevs. So because of that, whenever, someone would suck my dick, I might get a UTI from that. And I, started getting UTIs from my last couple of sexual partners, even though there was nothing, like they weren't doing anything wrong or anything. It was just, you become more sensitive to it. UTIs are urinary tract infections, by the way. It's not an STD of any kind. Some people, I guess, might not know that, but UTIs are very common amongst assigned female at birth people. Some assigned female at birth people just have chronic UTIs and just get them all the time, and that sucks. One of my sexual partners is like that, and you just get them all the time. Assigned male at birth people can also get UTIs, but it's a lot more serious when they get them. But if they are untreated, you can like get really sick and stuff, so you want to get on that shit. So yeah, I started kind of getting chronic UTIs. Like I would get them like once every week or so because I was like having sex. I like that, and I didn't want to, I went to my doctor and was like, hey, I don't want to have to go to urgent care or whatever, or come see you every time that I have sex. That doesn't sound fun. So she was like, don't worry, I got you. And she put me on what I call my sex pills, which is just a little antibiotic that I have to take before I have sex. Because if it's already in your body, sometimes it will just, preemptively take care of you. So you don't have to like deal with getting a UTI every time someone puts their mouth on your genitals, which would suck. So yeah, something they don't tell you about T is that your organs that you're not supposed to have anymore get real sick until you are able to have surgery to get rid of them. Which is why I've been thinking a lot about bottom surgery recently, because I'm like, oh boy, can't wait to not have to deal with this thing. Because it has no purpose anymore. I don't have periods. I don't, it's just sitting there. It's only for peeing, I don't use it for sex. It's only for peeing. Oh, something that also, yeah, when you go on T, because your vagina stops functioning, you might not be able to like use it for sex. Some people, it takes a while, or they might be able to still use it for sex, which is cool. But eventually, it might dryness is an issue if you do use that organ for sex. I never used it for sex, so like I was good because like I tried it a couple times before transitioning, and it just like hurt. It didn't feel good because my body, like me being male, I couldn't connect to it. Some trans dudes do use their vaginas for sex, but for me personally, I wasn't able to form that connection. It didn't feel right for me. So some trans people sometimes need to use lube if they want to continue using that organ for sex. So I take my T shots sub-Q through my tum-tum, and usually you take whatever dosage that your doctor prescribes you once a week. But periods weren't stopping for me. So what we did was, she was like, basically, I'm going to butcher this, so I'm very abridging this part. But she was like, periods are determined by your highest spike of, I think it was E. It's either E or T, but like the body's like, oh, the highest spike is here, you'll have a period. If it's not, then you won't. So to increase that, what we're doing now is giving me twice the amount of T that I need. But I'm doing the shot once every 2 weeks instead of once a week. And period stopped for me. So I haven't had a period in like a long time. I think like this past summer was like my last one, which is, again, super dope. Fucking love it. They weren't doing shit for me anyway. So yeah, something they don't tell you is that like periods might not stop for you. But if they don't, then maybe talk to your doctor about that. Because that's what I talked to my doctor about. I was like, hey, getting a period and getting blood all over my dick while also having the other organ, it fucking doesn't feel great. And she was like, well, yeah, probably. We were able to talk about it and figure out what we could do. So I started getting worried earlier in the process of doing my shots because I kept getting this allergic reaction to it. The injection site would get like red and bumpy, and it would like blow up. Actually, you know what? I can show you guys because it's happening right now. So I don't know if you can see this. The injection sites are red and like inflamed and bumpy. I alternate between sides for each shot. It's like raised and bumpy and itchy. And my previous doctor didn't know what was happening. So I went to like an allergist specialist to like see what her idea of things was. And luckily I was able to see a different doctor because my previous one was out for a bit. And that new doctor knew exactly what was happening and was like, oh, no, that happens sometimes. And she was like, what you do is you take a Zyrtec or something like 20 minutes before you do your shot. You want to calm down your body allergy wise as much as possible. And then you do the shot. And whenever you're having symptoms of that, just take an allergy pill and you're good, which is great because I was so fucking worried that like, oh God, am I going to have an allergic reaction every time that I do my shots? But this time I fucked up because I did not take my Zyrtec 20 minutes before I just did the shot. And that is my bad. Yeah, it's something they don't tell you about the shots is sometimes you have an allergic reaction, which is fine. Talk to your doctor about it. Okay, now to the less physical things and more emotional side of things. Let's get emotional. Something I didn't know is that I can't cry anymore. Don't know what that's about. Well, I do know what it's about. Hormones. But yeah, I much prefer not being able to cry anymore, though, because before I started T, my emotions were all over the place. I would become, I was a little manic. I was just real sad all the time, and I cried easily, like really easily. So now that I can cry, I love it. Honestly, if I could be real, it's fantastic. Now, it might not happen to you, but it is a possible side effect because I didn't know what was happening. So I tweeted, yeah, it seems like I can't cry anymore. Is that a thing with T? And people responded and were like, oh yeah, no, I don't really get emotional anymore either. And I'm like, okay, well, I wish someone had told me. I like it a lot, but it would have been something that I would have looked forward to. I'm able to still cry if I'm like playing a character, because like as an actor, if I play characters and I feel their emotions, I'm still able to cry, but I have to like force myself and I have to like really, really be feeling it. Sometimes if I am myself and I'm feeling something very intensely, I'm able to tear up, but I don't really like cry anymore, which is cool, but also it feels a little empty sometimes. Like when I'm depressed, I, want to cry sometimes and I just kind of sit there feeling numb because I can't. There's no release, but I'm fine with it. I love not crying. It's also harder to get mad. I'm more chill now, which is good, but I need to be careful about people taking advantage of me because like some people don't treat me right and stuff, and I just keep giving them more and more chances because I'm like, I just don't get like mad anymore. I had a little bit of aggression, which is normal when I first started T. Between like March, April, and May, I was like more aggressive. But that's just the chemicals stabilizing in your body. And once you get used to it, I was like, I'm fine. And now I don't get mad, which is a whole other problem. I've also lost my ability to feel romantic attraction, which is very interesting. I didn't even know that it was the T. I didn't realize it until recently, but looking back, I was like, oh no, I haven't felt romantic attraction since like March or April of this year. And I've kind of just learned to deal with that, but I'm fine with it, honestly. I'm polyamorous and I still enjoy dating, but I'm more poly on the sense of like, I like to have multiple sex partners and I like to form good connections with them, deep friendships. I want to be able to be truthful with each other and open and honest, and communication is really important to me. And sometimes we have sex. That's kind of just what I want from relationships. And I like going on dates. Dating is fun. I like taking people on cute dates. I like making people happy and I like making people feel good. But I don't really want commitment anymore since I started T. Which I'm fine with because just like the crying thing, I used to feel too much, too easily. I would fall in love really easily, and that was never fucking good for me. So honestly, I'm very happy with all of the results that I've gotten from T. Hey there, hi, sorry to interrupt your video. This is Jesse from the future. Ooh, the future. But it's technically your past. This is my present. And I am Jesse in comparison to this Jesse from the future. But this is not. Anyway, there was something that came up recently that I wanted to add to this video, but I shot this like a week ago, gave it to my patrons, and then was like, oh, there's another thing. So I've been taking singing lessons since I was a kid, but recently was the first time I actually took them post voice change. And my coach has been super cool and like very knowledgeable, and he's just like trying to like learn all the information he can from my transition so that he can like help people in the future, you know, like when he heard that I was like a trans dude looking to get voice lessons. I actually met him through my mom. My mom told him about me and he was like super stoked. He was like, oh no, I would love to work with him. That'd be amazing. Khaleesi, I swear to fuck, I'm busy right now. No. Oh, you just gotta be the star of every fucking video I do, huh? Anyway, one of the things that he asked me recently was, hey, your Adam's apple is like real prominent. Was that before, or is this a thing that T has done? And it was something that I had never considered. So I did some research online, and apparently, yes, T can, it depends on everyone's body, of course, but T can help you grow a more prominent Adam's apple. There's science attached to it, but I'm an idiot. So why don't you just look it up yourself? Because I feel like they can say it way better than me. But yeah, let's see if I can get a good angle. So my Adam's apple, as you can see, it's fairly prominent. I hope the lighting is doing us favors here. I tried to take a picture of it before and it wasn't doing it. But yeah, that's the thing that I didn't know T would improve for me. Growing an Adam's apple. Super dope. I've always had a bigger nose, and as a kid, people made fun of it a lot, you know, but now I've got the nose and I've got my Adam's apple and I'm feeling pretty masculine lately, which is fun that these features that like before I was, you know, embarrassed about, now it's like, oh, this is like dope. Because it's one of those things where I don't know if my Adam's apple was like big or small before transition, but now I see it in the mirror every day and it feels good. It feels comfortable. It's a good size for my attitude and my face and like my body, and it all just kind of blends together real well. So yeah, number 10, that's another thing. Anyway, back to the video. Sorry about that. Take it away, past Jesse, which is my past, but also your past. We're all in the past, technically. Oh God, time is a concept made by humans, but also it's not. I don't know. Just go. So yeah, those are some things that people don't tell you when you start T, that these might be some side effects, but these are just, again, just what I have experienced. Everyone's bodies are different. When you start T, your doctor's going to be like, we don't know how it's going to affect you. We don't know, because they don't, the science is still new enough that we can't predict something like that. But I wish you all the best in your T experiences. Experience it. I was trying to think of a pun of some kind. Your tea time. Your tea time. Ooh, I love that. I hope you meet your tea time. I hope you have a lovely tea time. Whether that is a golf or a drink pun or both, I don't know which. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video where we will talk more about tea and also talk about the improvements that it has made in my life. Even though these are all improvements, you'll see. I'll figure it out. We'll get there when we get there.